What's going on, guys? Welcome back to another video. In this video, I've got another very important AMC update to bring all of you this evening. So what we're going to be covering in this update is we have received the exchange reported short interest numbers for AMC today. So those are always kind of the most accurate numbers that we can look at on a 2-week basis. So we are going to be taking a look at those. In addition to this, we do have to take a look at what we saw a little bit on the options change today for AMC, because as we started to see AMC go up on this one, we saw something absolutely awesome. The retail investors are starting to learn and understand what power they have in terms of the derivatives market. Now, we also have to talk about what the SEC has done today in terms of these new transparency rules. The first one that they voted on today was basically having these private funds provide more disclosures in the case of a major event that happens. They would have about 1 day to kind of report these events to the SEC, and the other one was basically revolving around the purchases and sales and the trading of treasury securities in alternative trading systems. Now, when you think of ATS, alternative trading system, that's essentially a dark pool. Now, here's the thing here. There is a kind of a long path to getting these rules actually implemented and effective. They are not automatically implemented or even effective at the current time. There is still a comment period, and these still need to get implemented. But this is a really strong step in the right direction for getting more transparency in our markets. Now, is this going to be the rule that kind of starts the squeeze? I don't think so. I don't really think there is a proposed rule change that can come out that is going to start the squeeze, unless they come out with a rule that's essentially saying, well, all shorts have to cover, and I don't really see that as a likely outcome. But this is a really, really good step in the right direction. Now, in addition to this, the last thing that we're going to go over is Fidelity. So Fidelity has actually just been hit with a lawsuit and a judgment over options trading, kind of surrounding what was going on with AMC and GME back in last January. So before we get into all of that information, if you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provide for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. And if you guys do want access to the free chat in the Discord with me, Review Dork, and TMI, the Masked Investor, make sure you click that link down in the description below. There's a lot of people doing really well in there with these strategies that we have, the 1348 strategy. If you want to come and take a look at it and just check it out, you can hop into the Discord and check out the free section. So AMC closed the day down 0.5%, 8 cents, and honestly, the reaction in the overall market from this Fed meeting was very, very negative. But most likely, that wasn't large institutions. It was most likely the algorithms kind of triggering on some of the statements that were made in the Fed's press release. So let's see what's going to happen tomorrow. That was a very, very bearish move in the market as Jerome Powell started to speak. And again, we have been on this downturn for the last couple of weeks. Hopefully it's going to turn around soon. But again, nothing was really said in that Fed meeting that was not to be expected already. Now, coming over to AMC's Ortex numbers right here, 73.84% estimated, 73.84% utilization, 20.51% estimated short interest. Now, the exchange reported short interest that for the settlement date of January 14th that was released today, 18.9%. Now, when we take a look at this estimated short interest number right here, and go back to the 14th, the exact day that this was actually released, I think we can see it over here. So they did end up overestimating. Ortex did overestimate the short interest. We did see it right around that 20% mark when we were seeing this short exchange report interest period. So we could see the short interest come down a little bit, but again, they are shorting the absolute nuts out of AMC and GME right now in this current marketplace. Now, when we come over and take a look at the options chain, there's nothing too crazy on the in the money, at the money calls. It is pretty heavily weighted on the put side right now. But when we come over and take a look at what was going on the actual volume of some of these options, well, we can see that there was 17,000 in volume at the 16, 34,000 in volume at the 17, and 56,000 in volume on the 18. Now, the volume isn't necessarily as important as the open interest, but volume can translate over into open interest the next day. So what this is telling us is that there was a lot of activity at these at the money and at the time in the money strikes on AMC as we were seeing these price increases to the upside. These at the money and in the money call purchases are going to have the most effect on delta hedging from the market makers. Now, let's talk about this situation with the SEC. So they did vote 3-1, and we did see one of those individuals, Hester Peirce, honestly come out and really make no argument as to why she did not want to see this transparency. She basically cited her own and overall fund laziness as to why she wouldn't want some of these things to be reported. But what we can see right here is the proposed amendments would require the current reporting for large hedge fund advisors and advisors to private equity funds. These advisors would file reports within 1 business day of events that indicate significant stress at a fund that could harm investors or signal significant risk to the broader financial system. And then getting into some of the more specifics, we read Gary Gensler, the chairman of the SEC's comments up at the top. Among other things, today's proposal would require certain advisors to hedge funds and private equity funds to provide current reporting of events that could be relevant to financial stability and investor protection, such as extraordinary investment losses or significant margin and counterparty default events. That is a really big deal. If one of these funds is facing potentially systemic risk to not only themselves, their clients, but to the overall system, they are going to be having to report that very, very quickly to the SEC. But something to also keep in mind here is that these rules aren't necessarily implemented or effective as of today after this vote. We can see down here, the proposal will be published on the SEC.gov website and in the Federal Register. The public comment period will be open for 90 days after publication in the Federal Register. So what they've essentially done is voted to propose these rule changes, and now we're going to be receiving comments again on these proposed rule changes. So even though it is a really good thing that the SEC is doing this, we still have a long road ahead of us. And like I've said before, there isn't going to be one proposed rule change that is kind of going to blow off the top of this whole situation. And I want everybody to kind of not get almost relaxed, and I want us to keep the pressure on these regulatory institutions. This is a good first step, but this is nowhere near the amount of transparency that we actually need to see in the market to make it more fair. Now, in addition to this, they also put out this, they voted on this proposal as well, surrounding ATS's alternative trading systems. And again, when you think of ATS, think of dark pool. And when they're essentially what they were talking about here is the US Treasury bond market having to do with reverse repos and repos. So they're kind of trying to unveil kind of what is going on in these incredibly dark markets. Now, in addition to all of this craziness with the market and the SEC today, we can't forget about Fidelity. Fidelity had some pretty interesting things happen with it as well. So Fidelity Brokerage's rubber stamping allowed meme stock abuses, regulator says. So Massachusetts Securities Regulator on Wednesday charged Fidelity Brokerage Services with improperly rubber stamping applications to trade options, saying the blatantly unethical practice allowed some ineligible retail investors to trade in meme stocks. And coming down here a little bit further, he said that one investor submitted 11 applications in 1 week, including a sudden change in job title from scientist to CEO, and upon winning approval, traded options in meme stocks, including AMC Entertainment, BlackBerry, and Nokia. So for those of you guys who do not trade options, you do have to apply with your brokerage to get approval to trade these very, very risky derivatives. And you do kind of have to tell them how much experience that you do have in your job title and everything like that. But at the same time here, I don't see that there's really any reason to gatekeep these types of financial instruments from retail investors. Yes, they are incredibly risky, and you should do your own research and learn how these financial instruments work before you actually go out and start trading them with your actual money. But at the end of the day, we are all adults. We can make our own financial decisions, and that's really what it comes down to at the end of the day. So that is going to wrap up this update on AMC and the broad market and kind of all the craziness that we've seen today. If you enjoyed the information and analysis that I provided for you in this video, make sure you go down and hit that like button. It costs you nothing to do it, but it really helps us out a whole lot in getting this information out to as many people who want to learn. And if you guys want to see more videos like this, make sure you hit that subscribe button and turn on that notification bell so you're notified every time I post a new video. So I hope you guys are having a great evening, and I'll see you guys in the next video.